Hey guys, Chuck here, bringing you guys a new video. It's been a few days, but I've been busy with work and stuff like that. So I'm bringing to you today. We have a pretty interesting team that I might be bringing into a tournament that we're doing this weekend. It's just a friendly tournament. Whoever wins, I'm going to give them a $10 Best Buy gift card, so it'll be pretty cool. And we'll expand on that later on if you guys are interested in participating. So I'm bringing you guys this team because I think Porygon 2 is one of the best Pokemon. I still think Muck is better, but Porygon 2 is definitely up there. He is holding an Eviolite, of course, with Ice Beam, Recover, Toxic, Trick Room. I think having the Toxic is better than the Lightning Bolt, though I might switch the Ice Beam to Thunderbolt, just so I can deal with Gyarados more efficiently, because I have no way of doing it right now. So we got 252 HP, 108 attack, and then 148 special attack, and that's mostly because of the fact that a lot of the stuff in the format right now is hitting with Z moves that are actually special attacks. So that's just to be able to survive those. Then we have a Lowland Persian, who I think is really, really good. And I bring him pretty much every match because if he is Fake Out, as well as Parting Shot is just a really good combination, as you'll see in some of the games. So I got Rocky Helmet on him. You can have various things on here, Focus Sash, whatever. I don't have Focus Sash usually. I don't feel he needs Focus Sash. I never really get one shot with him, and like sometimes it gets close with a special attack or something like that, but since he can't get hit with Psychic, it doesn't really hurt him. Moonblast does one shot him, but for the most part, people try to hit him with physical attacks and then they take damage from Rocky Helmet. So we have Parting Shot, of course, which lowers the attack and special attack of the opponent's Pokemon and switches out, so it's really good. Fake Out, just to get that first turn, Trick Room or Toxic or whatever. Foul Play, just to do a little bit extra damage. This is supposed to be 0, actually. That's probably why I'm not doing maximum damage with that. And then Protect, of course, just to protect them off. I did switch that, but there's been an issue lately with switching IVs and, well, now EVs, I guess. So then we got Salamence, who is our Intimidator, running the Dragium Z. We have a Timid, Full Speed, Draco Meteor, Flamethrower, Hydro Pump, and Protect. He still works under Trick Room because he is slower than some of the Tapus. Also, he is slower than Garchomp, so it works out well. If you get Trick Room up, they have Garchomp, you can go for Draco Meteor on him, or the Dragium Z usually. And then we got just 4 HP, 252, 252, just pretty simple. Just want to get him out and do damage. Then we have Melodic, who's going to be more of a coverage since we do have the Marowak. Ice Beam, Scald, Recover, Protect. Then we have 252, 132, and then 124. He needs a little bit more defense, but once again, everything is special in this format, so you could go more defense if you wanted to, if you're facing a lot of Booloos or things like that. Though this team is pretty good against Booloo anyway. And then I got Bold, just to give him that little bit more there. And then, of course, we have Marowak. If you're going to do Trick Room, you might as well. With Thick Glove, of course, double his attack. Flare Blitz, Boomerang, Shadow Bone, Protect, no special things, 252, 252. 4 with the Brave to lower his speed, increase his attack, just really good. And then we have a Metagross, which used to not be Metagross. It actually used to be a Lowland Sandslash, but I just felt like he wasn't bulky enough. He wasn't able to take any attacks. And we have Assault Vest on him, Meteor Mash, Bullet Punch, Rocky Zen Headbutt, and Rock Slide. I was going to say Rocky Helmet, but that doesn't make any sense. Then we have 252 HP, 252 attack, 4 with Brave to lower his speed. So in Trick Room, that he is slower than all the Tapus, even at min speed. So he is really good. He's going to allow you to put pressure on teams that run multiple Tapus. So on this team right here, so you can see we're using the Sandslash, and he's bringing a pretty, what I would consider, standard team at this point in the meta. So he's going to go Nalego and Melodic. I'm going to go Porygon 2, Salamence. That just puts a little bit of pressure on him. He does get that competitive boost, and Salamence is in danger, so I'm going to switch out to the Sandslash. He's going to protect the Nalego there and go for the Ice Beam, which I am going to ×4 resist, go for the Trick Room, and then I'm going to be able to Toxic the Melodic as well as go for the Iron Head, try to get that super effective damage on the Nalego, which it cannot survive, and they usually do not run the Focus Sash on him. So I'm just going to double up in the Celesteela, thinking the Melodic's going to protect. I do get that flinch. Sandslash has a really high chance to flinch. All his moves on him had a chance to flinch. So I'm just going to recover Porygon 2 and just go for the Icicle Crash again, try to get that Celesteela out of there. He's going to get the burn on the Scald, but that is perfectly fine. It is a Porygon 2, so it's not a big deal. I'm going to switch back into Salamence here. He's not going to predict that and go for an Ice Beam. I am going to get off the recover, and he is just going to go for that and a Scald. And that Scald does way too much damage because of that +3 that he has on, or ×3. +4 that he has on his Melodic right now. But I'm just going to go for the Z move onto the Melodic, killing it, and going for a second Trick Room. He has Celesteela out here. The problem with Celesteela is if you can kill everything around it, Celesteela loses. So I'm going to switch out to the Marowak. He is good against both of these. I'm going to go for the Flamethrower on the Celesteela. Actually get the burn. He's going to go for Aurora Veil, which is perfectly fine. He's almost going to die to that burn, but he is going to die to the Hail. He's going to bring out Nilego again, and I figure that he's going to protect, so I go into the Nilego, and of course I miss. He's going to be able to one-shot my Marowak with that Power Gem, and I'm going to be in a pretty rough situation here, but I do still have the Sand Slash. I'm going to protect the Salamence, go for the Rock Slide. It is super effective against Ninetales, but I do miss. That was like the part where I was like, oh, this is the turning point of the game. I'm going to lose because of that miss there. But I'm going to go for the Iron Head on the Ninetales, figuring it has the Focus Sash, and it does. Hydro Pump on the Lego does not do enough damage, but Salamence is going to go down. I didn't really have a safe switch in. I didn't want to switch into it and just sacrifice my own Porygon here. So I'm going to bring back up Porygon. I know Porygon can kill. He is going to go for the Thunderbolt again, and it is going to kill Sand Slash. I didn't have a choice because I was on the, what's it called? The Assault Vest, so he's just going to protect. I'm going to go for the Ice Beam. He's going to be at 1 HP, so there's not much he can actually do there. And then on the next battle, this is pretty much what a standard Sand team is going to look like. Except Melodic's a little bit different than what you would usually see on there. You might see a Gyarados instead. I'm going to go Porygon 2 and Persian, and he's going to get up that grass. I'm just going to get the special attack increase on Porygon 2. He's going to go out with Arcanine, which is perfectly fine because I'm going out the Fake Out on Bulu anyway and going for the Toxic on the Arcanine slot. His Melodic is bulky, and I do not want to deal with it. So I'm just going to go with the Parting Shot onto the Bulu, go out to the Salamence, give it -2. Now it's -2 Bulu. Now it's not going to be able to do much, especially to that Porygon. And he's going to go for the Horn Leech, which I am going to resist and eat that up. I'm going to be able to get off the Trick Room on that switch there. He's going to switch up into Gigalith, which is going to be the slowest Pokemon, but I also switched into the Sand Slash. I go for the Toxic, so I get double Toxic on there. He does burn the Sand Slash, though, which is pretty unfortunate. Porygon 2 is staying healthy, though, and he is just surviving. And he just keeps losing life, so I can just go for Protects and stuff. He is going to go Rock Slide. I'm going to go for Ice Beam, do some damage, and I'm going to flinch. That was an Icicle Crash into that Gigalith slot. Actually, no, it was an Iron Head into that Gigalith slot, but I was not unable to get it off. If I did, I think he would have been dead this turn, but actually, no, because I'm burned, so he probably would have survived pretty well. So I'm going to be able to get that off. I'm just going to go for the Rock Slide to hit both of them and try to get the flinch on the Arcanine. But I do not. He goes with the Flamethrower. Sand Slash is going to go down. Porygon 2 still sitting there pretty strong with 1 turn of Trick Room remaining. And yeah, so Arcanine's going to die to that poison. That was a big line of text there. So I'm going to go with the Persian. I figured that he's going to do that, so I just fake out that slot and I go with the Toxic just in case. I had really no better options there. But with the Trick Room gone, I can now Parting Shot, which is nice. But he is going to switch into the Bulu. I don't really care. I'll just Parting Shot onto Bulu and get out the Salamence. Get the Intimidate off, put it back down, and recover. He's going to go with the Explosion, so good thing I did recover. He's going to do a lot of damage to Salamence, but Salamence is going to still be standing and going to be the fastest Pokemon on the field. So I am going to protect the Salamence, where the Ice Beam does come in, and he's going to go for the Horn Leech on the Porygon 2, which is that -4 attack is not going to do much. I am going to get off the Toxic, and that's going to put Melodic in a pretty tough situation, seeing as how I do have that devastating Drake there. And I'm just going to use it and put it down to about a quarter life. He does go for the Scald, maybe thinking I might switch. He goes for the Wood Hammer, does get the crit on the Porygon. So now it is down to just my one Pokemon here. My Persian and I'm going to go for the fake out onto the melodic, and he's going to go for the superpower, which is going to hurt him quite a bit, and decrease his defenses as well as his attack. Melodic's going to die to that poison there, and that's what I was hoping. Parting shot, I'm just going to lower his attack a little bit more, just so these Horn Leeches don't do nearly as much, but I do have that Rocky Helmet on the field, so I'm just going to be able to just chip away at this Bulu here. As he goes for a Wood Hammer, which, bad choice. He should just go for the Horn Leeches, no reason not to, but he is going to heal back up a little bit, and then I'm just going to continue going with the foul play. He goes with the superpower once again, which surprised me, lowering his attack and defense once again, so I'm going to do a little bit more damage, put him down into range. He's going to hit me, and the way that Rocky Helmet works is it hit first, so I do end up winning the battle because my Pokemon faints second there. This team right here is a pretty standard Trick Room team, especially with Drampa. If you can get the Trick Room with the Drampa, he goes out with Bulu and Porygon 2. I go out to Porygon 2 Persian. Once again, that is my favorite. He is going to get download on attack. I am also. I'm going to go with the fake out onto the Bulu to make it flinch and go for the Toxic on the Porygon as he does the same. And then he puts LOL in the actual chat down there, as you will see. And so I'm just going to parting shot Bulu and go out to Metagross, where he goes with the superpower, so he's going to lower his own attack again and his defenses, where I went with the Ice Beam to get that freeze. He goes with the Trick Room, which I'm perfectly fine with. That's why I switched into the Metagross in the first place. We are going to take damage from those Toxics. I'm going to switch out into Persian once again to get that fake out pressure. He goes into Mudsdale. He goes for the Ice Beam onto the Persian as I go for the Meteor Mash. Look how much damage that did. That's a Salt-Vested Metagross, never mind anything else. And that's a Mudsdale. So that's going to do quite a bit of damage. I am going to switch out to Melodic here and go for the Fake Out on the Porygon. He goes for High Horsepower. It's perfectly fine, flinching the Porygon. And now I'm going to have Melodic and Persian out. Mudsdale is the slowest thing in the field, so he's going to be able to go first, but he does switch out to the Bulu, which was a good predict because I do go for the Scald, which does break the freeze, which kind of stinks, and I'm going to go for the parting shot onto the Bulu, also going out to the Metagross. Then he is going to just heal up. We're all going to heal up from the grassy terrain. Porygon 2 is going to take quite a bit of damage from that Toxic. I'm going to go out to the Persian and go for the Bullet Punch, hoping that it would be a crit, but it was not. He does heal up. But once again, he's going to take that Toxic damage and go down as Trick Room does fade away. I'm going to go with the parting shot onto the Bulu and go out to the Porygon 2 here. He does go with the Z move onto that slot, which is perfectly fine because Porygon 2 does eat that up with that -2. I go for the Meteor Mash, do not get the attack increase, but Porygon 2 will go down. Now it's down to Mudsdale and Drampa and Bulu, so I do switch out into the Persian, get the Toxic off on the Mudsdale as he goes for close combat, killing the Porygon 2. It's perfectly fine. He does lower his defenses, and he is Toxic, so I can go out to Melodic here, and he switches out back into Bulu, which I kind of figured, but I went with the Scald anyways, and I do get the crit and the burn, so I'm going to be in a pretty good position as Drampa does flinch from that attack. Getting that burn does put him in range for me to actually foul play that slot and kill him. I'm not sure if I could have killed him with a little bit more HP or not. Ice Beam is going to do a crit also and do half damage. He's going to go for the Hurricane, which is going to miss the Persian, which I'm perfectly fine with. Even if he killed the Persian, I would have been in a really good place having that Metagross in the back. But I can go with the Ice Beam on the Drampa again and killing the Drampa. He's going to go with the High Horsepower on the Persian, which I did figure. I just want to get that little bit of Toxic damage and protect both of my Pokemon. So that's what I did there. And now I can just go for the Ice Beams and the Scalds, so he can't do much. He has a pretty standard team if you watched, except for the Electivire here. This is like a super meta setup that was used a lot at the European Championship. So I'm going to lead Porygon Z, Persian, once again. And he goes Koko Garchomp, which is a pretty scary lead against this setup I have. He does protect the Koko, which I do fake out into, but that just means that I'm going to get a free Trick Room here. And I am slower with my Persian than his Koko, so I know I can go with the parting shot. I do Ice Beam into that slot, which he has Gastrodon, but I also foul play, so I'm going to put Gastrodon to half HP already. He's going to go for a Dazzling Gleam, killing my Persian there, which is too bad, but I can get a free switch into Marowak, which Marowak is just going to Shadow Bone and kill. I just went with the Ice Beam just in case it did not kill. He's going to bring out Arcanine, which I am going to hit with the Boomerang. Of course, that little bit of the Intimidate did affect how much damage I was going to do there. I could have put it into KO range, maybe with a high roll KO'd him. But he's just going to Snarl and do double damage. I do miss the Boomerang onto the Koko. I do get the Toxic on the Arcanine, though, as he continues to just chip away at my life with the dual attacks here. And Trick Room is actually going to go down, as well as his ability to do more damage with lightning. So he's just going to continue. He's going to go with Flare Blitz. The only way he could have killed me is if he had close combat, but I'm sure if Arcanine gets close combat until Pokebang comes out. So he sends out the Garchomp, which I'm perfectly fine with. I'm going to go with the Boomerang into the Garchomp and do the Recover on the Porygon too. He goes for the Earthquake. I'm okay with losing Marowak here because I do have the Porygon and I have the Salamence here. I know he has the Dazzling Gleam, but my Salamence is slower. So he's going to go with the Dragon Claw onto Porygon too, and go for the Thunderbolt on the Salamence. When I saw that, I was like, yep, I know I got this, because I'm going to go with the Ice Beam on the Garchomp, which does take it out, and the Flamethrower. I know he can't do much, and Porygon 2 will win this race just by himself, so I just continue to go with the Flamethrower as he does Dazzling Gleam, killing my Salamence. And as it returns to normal, I just go for the Ice Beam. So we're able to take him out. And then on this team, very unique team, you got the Vanillux, and then you have the Slowbro. Slowbro, there's a little bit of an issue with Slowbro. He is really weak to Marowak. But the rest of his team is pretty solid. So he goes out with the Slowking, not Slowbro, Slowking, sorry, and the Gyarados, which I kind of figured was going to be his lead. So I went with the Porygon and the Persian once again. He goes out with the Bulu. I'm just going to Foul Play into that slot and Toxic into the Slowking, but I do miss the Toxic on the Slowking, so that's unfortunate. I'm going to protect the Persian, thinking he's going to go for a double attack up into the Persian and get that Toxic off at the Slowking, and he actually does go with the double attack on the Persian, which is perfectly fine. It's going to allow me to know what he's going to do this turn, so he does get the burn, though, which is unfortunate, but I am going to double Toxic his Pokemon. He goes for the Horn Leech. He's going to take damage from that Rocky Helmet after. I'm going to go with the Parting Shot onto the Slowking so I can go out to Marowak and know that Scald probably won't kill. I don't want to find out, and I know that Slowking is slower, so I am going to protect and go with the Ice Beam onto the Bulu. He's going to Horn Leech my Porygon, which does way too much damage, and I'm starting to think I should have just Parting Shot the Bulu there. So I'm going to switch out to the Melodic, just baiting that Scald, and he does go with it again, but he does get the burn. I'm going to go with the Recover with Porygon 2, and he goes with the Stone Edge, which wouldn't have killed me, but it did sizable damage. But he's going to take that Toxic damage, so I'm just burning away at him, and I still have 4 Pokemon with Persian, almost dead. He does switch out to Mach, where I do Ice Beam into that slot. He goes for a second Trick Room, which is perfectly fine. Slowking is almost dead. And now I could just fake out the Mach here, which he's going to get back out the grassy terrain. And I'm just going to go with a Trick Room to reverse the Trick Room now that he switched out, which is pretty good, because I was hoping he would kill Persian with a Scald there, and I would be able to go out to Marowak and be faster. But I'm just going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, as he does get that Horn Leech once again, doing too much damage. And he goes for the knockoff on the Porygon Z. If he would have predicted that Marowak switch in, I would have lost there. So I'm going to get the Ice Beam off. Bulu is going to be taking some damage. He's almost dead. He's going to switch out into the Slowking as I switch out to the Persian. He goes for the Substitute on the Mach, which is perfectly fine, because I do hit it, and I leave it at about 1 HP. Fun games. Alright, so now he has Slowking out, he has the Mach, he has the potential to go for another Trick Room, but he has to worry about the Shadow Claw, so he does go with the Gyarados. I do fake out the Mach, figuring that he is going to probably switch out, but I want to go for the Shadow Bone just in case he doesn't, and I don't want to take a knockoff on Marowak. So, so I'm just going to protect the Marowak here and go for the Foul Play on the Gyarados, leaving it with barely any life, as he does go with the Hydro Vortex, so good thing I did protect. I'm going to take a little bit under half there, as he does go for the Poison Jab, killing the Persian. I was hoping that was going to do enough to kill him with the Rocky Helmet, but it doesn't, so I'm going to go out the Porygon 2 here. He goes for the Waterfall on the Porygon too, and the Poison Jab, so he doubles up into it, which is absolutely perfect for me. So I went for the Shadow Bone, just predicting the switch in, just hoping he does not hit me with the Muck. And he's going to come back out with Bulu, so he's going to have Bulu Muck out, and he's going to switch into the Slowking here. And this is where I did go with the Bone Ring just in case. I thought about going with the Shadow Claw, but I wasn't sure if it was going to kill Muck, so I didn't want to. If I would have been able to kill him there, and it would have been over. But I'm just going to be able to go for the Ice Beam, and then the Shadow Bone, take both of them out, and it's going to be Muck versus Melodic and Marowak. So there is not going to be anything that he can do, and he's going to forfeit. So this team here is pretty interesting, because you do have the Jolteon. I'm seeing a lot more of these, I don't even remember what the horse name is, but I've seen a lot more of him. He does have 2 grounds, so I don't want to bring my Metagross here. Sorry about that. So I'm going to bring out Porygon 2 and Persian, which was in every single one of these games, by the way. I'm going to go for the Toxic Horsepower. I can't think of what his name is, though. But he's going to get that Earthquake off. No Bulldoze, which is going to lower my speed, which I am perfectly fine with, because now I'm like, oh, okay, I can just go with the Trick Room, and I'm going to be slower than you. So I'm going to get the Parting Shot, go out to the Salamence, because I think it's the best option here. He's going to go with the Close Combat, lowering his defenses also. So I'm going to get Trick Room off. He's going to take some poison damage. I am going to go with the Recover. I could have actually went with the Ice Beam and did quite a bit of damage. He's going to go Toxic with me with Tower, but I am going to Flamethrower him just to do that little bit of chip damage. In hindsight, I should have just used the Dragon Z move, but he's going to go with Raju. And I'm going to Ice Beam it. It's going to do quite a bit of damage as I go with the Flamethrower also onto Tower. The Celesteela there. And I'm just going to heal up. He's going to Leech Seed. I'm going to use Draco Meteor into that Jolteon slot, fearing the Hidden Power Ice. I thought about using the Z move just so I couldn't miss, but I didn't because he does have Cynthia there. And I'm not sure how slow or fast it is, so I'm going to switch in the Persian as he does switch out. I do go for the Ice Beam. He is going to get that stamina boost. He's going to Leech Seed my Porygon and heal up a little bit. And Porygon's going to take some toxic damage, as is Horsepower, as he goes back out with Cynthia, which I'm perfectly fine with because I went back out with the Salamence, so I'm going to get that Intimidate off. I'm going to go with the Fake Out onto Tower so I can get that free switch in. Then I'm going to Protect, and he's just going to Rock Slide, which kind of surprised me. Maybe he was predicting the Salamence Protect, but I'm going to get that Devastating Drake off, which is going to kill it. I wasn't too scared because I did have the Ice Beam on the Porygon Z. He's going to go back out with Horsepower, which I'm going to Foul Play. It's going to do enough to kill him. And I'm just going to go with the Flamethrower. Now he's down left with Tower. So I know there is no way I can possibly lose because I do actually have the Marowak. So I'm going to go with the Porygon 2 here just in case I do have to go for the Trick Room. I'm just going to go with the Flamethrower just to let Salamence die so I can get the free switch in into the Marowak, and I'm just going to go for the Flare Blitz just in case he did have Substitute, which a lot of them do. So, yep. So that's my team, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed my new team. And if you did, make sure you guys rate, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys later.